From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, January 20th. Some isolated to scattered flurries could be possible until early this afternoon. Highs are going to struggle to get into the mid-30s. Breezy winds stick around, so just get ready for a chilly Friday and a chilly weekend for that matter. And we are following breaking news this morning. Details of a shooting inside an Evansville Wal-Mart. Walmart does confirm that the person injured is one of its employees. Police have not revealed the severity of the victim's injuries. The shooting happened around 10 last night at the store on Lloyd Expressway there in Evansville. Police say a gunman fired shots at police as he weaved through the store aisles. Police say multiple officers returned fire, killing the suspect. No officers were injured. We are still working to get more information about who the suspect is and his possible motive or her possible motive. Police say they will hold a news conference at some point today. Haven't specified a time, but as soon as we get all of that information, you can find updates at wishtv.com. 5 state Supreme Court justices will now decide on an order blocking Indiana's near-total abortion ban. The Indiana Supreme Court heard more than an hour of testimony yesterday. The ACLU's lawsuit contends the ban violates the guarantee of liberty under the state constitution. The ACLU argues bodily autonomy is a form of liberty.
Within each constitutional provision, there are essential values, core values, which can be qualified but not alienated. The founders recognized that we had ceded some of our rights to form the police power. We retained the rest. We retained a right of liberty, a right which Justice Perkins said included such things as the ability to drink cold water, this privacy.
Solicitor General Tom Fisher is arguing on behalf of the state. He says the legal process from here is far from clear.
It's not clear what legal standard would even apply on a trial. I don't know what proof we would bring forward. The trial court's view is that there's a right to abortion. This law says abortion can't exist.
It's not clear when the High Court will issue its ruling. In the U.S. Supreme Court, an 8-month investigation has failed to find the source of a landmark leak. More than a month before the court overturned Roe v. Wade, Politico published a draft version of the decision. The court says since then, investigators interviewed more than 120 people, including court clerks. It's not clear if the justices were interviewed. The court says 97 employees swore under oath they did not disclose the draft. And today is the March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. It is the first one since the abortion ruling, and organizers are changing their focus. This year's goal is to prevent Congress from trying to curtail the abortion bans Indiana and several other states have passed since the court's decision. Organizers expect about 50,000 people to attend today's rally, about the same number as previous years, and former Colts Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy is a featured speaker for today's march. He tweeted yesterday that this will be his first time attending the event. He says he looks forward to supporting unborn babies who don't have a voice. This comes as Dungy faces backlash for sharing a debunked myth about how schools are adjusting protocols for transgender students. According to USA Today, the since-deleted tweet from Wednesday came in response to a story about a Minnesota bill that would require menstrual products in boys' school bathrooms. Nearly 1 million accounts follow Dungy. The tweet garnered nearly 140,000 views and criticism from users. He has not publicly responded to the criticism. And Wish TV is following a new bill that could impact LGBTQ students across the state. Senate Bill 354 requires public and charter schools to tell parents if their student requests changing their name, attire, pronoun, title, or a word that is inconsistent with the student's biological sex. Some students and staff are worried about the bill's potential impact. In a statement, the bill's author, State Senator Jeff Ratz, says parents should know if their child is struggling and shouldn't be kept from the situation. Now for my teammate, a $60,000 bond is now set for the Beech Grove father charged after video showed his 4-year-old son pointing a gun at people. A judge set Shane Osborne's bond during a hearing yesterday. The judge also granted the prosecution's motion for a stay-away order. That prohibits Osborne from contacting his son's mother, neighbors who spoke with police during the investigation, and his own mother. Osborne's mother was at the courthouse for yesterday's hearing and was combative with IT-Mate and other members of the press. Showed the middle finger a few times, said she didn't want to be on camera. You can see all of that video under this story at wishtv.com. Osborne does face 2 to 11 years in prison if convicted of all 3 felonies for child neglect. His trial is scheduled for March 20th. And federal kidnapping charges are in for a woman at the center of a massive search that ended in Indianapolis. Investigators say in December, Nala Jackson took 5-month-old twins in Ohio, prompting an Amber Alert that led authorities to find Jackson here. Authorities found both of the children safe, one in Ohio and one in Indianapolis. Jackson also faces state charges here, but prosecutors say the federal case will take priority. And prosecutors say a criminal disregard for safety led to last year's deadly shooting on a movie set, and the charges actor Alec Baldwin now faces. Baldwin is holding the gun that fired, killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Prosecutors say they will file involuntary homicide charges against Baldwin and weapons specialist Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. They also say an assistant director, David Halls, has agreed to plead guilty to negligent use of a deadly weapon. He gave Baldwin the gun. Prosecutors say they will file the charges later this month. And we did have more breaking news this morning as Google announced layoffs of 12,000 workers, making it the latest tech company to cut jobs after a rapid hiring spree during the COVID pandemic. The cuts represent about 6% of its workforce. Google's CEO shared the news in an email to staff this morning. The memo said Google hired for periods of dramatic growth over the past 2 years and that we're facing a different economic reality now. The FAA says a contractor unintentionally deleted computer files, leading to last week's meltdown that halted takeoffs across the country. The files were part of the NOTAM system that alerts pilots to a wide variety of conditions that could affect flight safety. The failure triggered the first nationwide ground stop in more than 20 years. Into business headlines, the Food and Drug Administration is declining to grant accelerated approval to Eli Lilly's experimental Alzheimer's drug. It's not an outright rejection, but rather they want more safety data from more patients. The problem for Lilly is that this delays the drug to market by several months and gives competitor Biogen's Alzheimer's drug more time to dominate the market. Mortgage rates in the U.S. decreased for the second week in a row, reaching a 4-month low. The average for a 30-year fixed loan fell to 6.15% from 6.33% last week. That's according to Freddie Mac. The drop in rates to the lowest in September has spurred demand for home buying and home building. T-Mobile said a hacker obtained data for 37 million customer accounts, though it didn't include payment information, passwords, or other sensitive personal data. The company said it alerted law enforcement and has begun notifying customers whose information may have been accessed. Netflix added 7.66 million paid subscribers during the fourth quarter, more than the 4.5 million Wall Street expected. This is the first quarter that Netflix's new ad-supported service is included in its earnings results. The company launched this cheaper tier in November, but has not disclosed what portion of the new subscriptions are from users who have opted for that service. Indiana ranked in the top half of the states to start a business. Wallet Hub says Indiana was 23rd on the list. Indiana business startup costs were low, but lacked access to resources like access to cash, skilled workers, and affordable office space. And today, the Indianapolis Home Show is back at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It is the 101st year for it, and organizers say it's the oldest home show in North America. You can pay honor and tribute to all of our heroes on Hero Day. Today, January 20th, all active and retired military, police, and fire personnel get free admission today, plus free parking at the State Fairgrounds. You just need to bring a valid ID and go and enjoy the home show on opening day. Aside from that, tickets for adults are $15. Children 6 to 12 years old get in for $3, and 5 and under are free. It runs today through Sunday, January 29th. And the Carmel Festival of Ice returns to Carter Green today. Top ice carvers from all around the Midwest will be in Carmel this weekend. It's January 20th through the 22nd. 3 days of competitions and demonstrations at the 6th Annual Festival of Ice. Carvers will create their masterpieces from 4 to 7 o'clock. That is p.m. Have a great weekend, everybody. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.